Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday. I'm Kevin. It's another Wicked Horror Show live on the Dorkening Podcast Network, as well as our YouTube and our Facebook and everything. As always, I'm joined by Tony. What's up, Tony?
What is going on, people?
And we have Angel from That Strange Show. What's up, Angel?
What is going on, people?
As well.
And belated happy birthday to you, Mr. Tony. Has
How old are you now?
Fingers.
37.
Woo!
Oh, you're exactly 10 years younger than me. So our guest is running a little bit late due to baseball practice. So he'll be on shortly. But we're going to shoot the poop for a little bit until our guest, Dave Sheridan, who you know is Doofy from Scary Movie. I first knew him from Ghost World. That's the first thing I saw him in was Ghost
Bubble
World.
Boy.
Yep.
Well, I never saw Bubble Boy.
Okay.
You should watch that.
Ghost World, though, is my jam. Steve Buscemi, I'm all about it. So he's a good dude. We've had him on before. He's funny. He's got some stuff he wants to talk about. He had messaged Tony with some things that we can talk about this and that and this. So Tony, it was your birthday recently. Hey, Daniel's in the chat room. What's up, Daniel? We haven't talked to you in a while. It's been a while.
Daniel?
Yeah,
what's up, man.
But yeah, Tony. So did you get anything fun for your birthday, or did you do anything fun yet for your birthday?
No. I mean, once you hit a certain age, it's kind of just like
I don't know, man. I do one thing for my birthday every year. I mean, I always I usually buy myself a gift.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point in time, I got some money, but that's about as far as that went. I worked because at work Sundays you get paid a little bit more, so I'm like, I'm not doing anything anyway. Like my days of partying are way over.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel. I do appreciate.
I can't picture you as a partier at all, by the way.
Nah, Tony younger.
Tony fucks. Don't get it twisted. He's 37, but Tony, he put it on you.
Hey, my days, back in my days.
Let's spend the first half hour reminiscing about the olden days. We're all old
days.
Golden days.
When I was 36.
Yeah, that was actually 11 years for me. Sergio saying, "Hey, what's up? What's up, Tony? What's up, Sergio?" He does say Tony. And there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what do you guys want to talk about while we wait for our guest?
I don't know.
I let him know that we will talk about his accomplishments before he comes on.
So, accomplishments? Don't you mean accomplishments?
I said accomplishments.
His condiments.
You said it, yeah. So tell us about your relish.
I definitely said accomplishment. Let everybody know in the comments. Did I say accomplishments or compliments?
You said compliments. Well, we have a fan. We have a fan who's actually sending me some stuff. He's got a musical group called Fat Man Matt, I think it's called. It's like kind of like electronica, kind of gothy stuff. Nice. It's like horror themed. He had a band before that was like rockabilly, kind of on the same lines. Yeah. He reached out to me. And he's a cool dude. He's sending me some stuff. I'm going to send him some stuff. And he thanked us and said that he's a big fan and that he actually said that we helped him get through his last deployment. That's pretty big.
Well, that's what, like, doing TikTok and stuff. I'll go on live, which I actually got suspended for.
Hate clapping.
For booty clapping. Yeah, no, it said hateful behavior, which I don't understand because all I do is show off movies. Like, so anyway, there was a couple people that like I'll get messages from, and they're like, You know, I just love watching your. I'm like, I'm just coming on here showing off my movies. I enjoy talking movies. So if I, in essence, could make your day a little bit better by doing that, something I love talking about, then in essence, it's, you know.
Speaking of making our days better, ladies and gentlemen, and then there's Dave. What's up, Dave?
Yo.
I was singing the mod theme song, but then there's Dave. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Dave,
I apologize. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing well. I'm in my car. I just had my son at Starbucks. Hold on. This is an action-packed episode
Ooh,
here.
I like this. This is like found footage.
But yeah, I'm gonna try to find a place where I have a good up my nostril here.
Okay.
See, I'm not on any coke.
We're getting some in-depth Dave.
For
Hopefully
real.
my finds us, but I want to try to find a spot where we have good. Oh wait, that's better. It's shaded over there.
There you go.
Hold on.
I want to know where you are, where it's still that bright out.
Cali.
Oh, you're in California?
Oh, wait. Okay. Hey, what's going on?
There
it goes. It's gonna get a little nuts tonight.
And
I've
this
been
is
running around. It's been a little. The good one. That's good. A little nuts.
And this is why we say you have to watch the show live, because you have no idea what's going on at this present time.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We have people that listen to the show, but they're missing all the glory, you know, all the good stuff.
All the visuals.
Oh, no. So people listen to the show. How do I sound? Okay.
Yeah, you sound fine.
Awesome.
Yeah, people listen like a week from now. It goes up as an audio podcast as well, and we get a lot more traction there. But we try to get people over here for the video side, and it is what it is.
So then we can
just Daniel John showed up in the chat a couple minutes ago. I'm sure you know Daniel. He's been in some projects you're in as well. He was probably stopping in to say hi. So
I love it.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a really good guy.
Yeah.
Is he shooting late checkout?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he's doing. We haven't talked to him in a while. He was coming on like pretty regularly for a while, but I think things calmed down a bit. I know he was. I think the last time he was on was that for Dark Circles, or was it after?
No,
wasn't
it the Bigfoot movie?
Well, maybe. Are you in Dark Circles too, Dave?
I was on set, but I'm not in Dark Circles. But one of my producing partners, Felissa Rose, that was one of hers. Hold on, my son found it. All right. Yeah, I didn't do that one. I did what was the other one? The Time's Up.
Time's Up.
And then also with Daniel is a great film. I really like it. It's called Massacre Academy.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can find it in it's available on Blu-ray DVD, but it's like that was the guy, the main producer, Thomas Parker. Yeah, Tom Parker. I call him Tom Parker. Mm-hmm. He put out like maybe 100 Blu-ray DVDs for like the premiere, and then now they're waiting for distributing to put out more DVDs. So, but I got one and watched it, and it's a lot. It's very entertaining, great directing, and I'm good in it. I play a great role.
Yeah,
so,
I think didn't we see it, Tony?
Yeah, we had a bunch of people in from it, and like first-time actors and stuff like that.
And
it
definitely came up in conversation about asking. There was some people that were like extremely excited to work with you, so that was the cool thing, you know. Yeah, but it was great. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't want to say the budget out loud, but it was one of the lower budgets that I've worked with, or it wasn't my budget and I didn't work with it, but like shooting a film at that budget, I was really impressed with how it came out, and it really moves. It doesn't get boring. There's great music in it, and the horrors, the sort of effects and stuff are really good in it. The kills and stuff. So I give it a thumbs up. And
I agree.
And I hope it's contributing. I think I'm going to help them. I think I'm going to make some phone calls. I actually have a meeting at Sony tomorrow. Nice. It's funny. One of my friends, who's a pretty big producer, and he worked for Kevin Spacey's company for years, and he did 50 Shades of Grey, all those 50 Shades of Grey movies and stuff, which are crap. But he has a new movie that was just out. It was called, what was the film that we watched? The Mark Wahlberg movie? Uncharted.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. And my friend Carter was the executive producer on it.
Nice.
And I'm watching it, and the female lead is a girl named Sophia Ali. And she's Tom Holland's love interest and co-patriarch in the movie. Have you guys seen the film at all?
I haven't.
All zeros. Okay. So it's okay. It's kind of like, what is it? Like National Treasure meets Mission Impossible.
Yeah, my oldest kid saw it. He said he liked it a lot, though. I have not myself personally.
You know what? My friend Carter, what he does at Sony is he only produces the video games that Sony owns for PlayStation 4. So I guess this Uncharted is a video game. Hold on, it's the cop. Stop, get down.
Bang, bang, bang.
That I don't know. Teaching my son.
Yeah, you got to change your shirt now.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's mustache. Eat the weed, dude. Follow the weed.
They're like, hold on, guys. I'm at Starbucks.
I'm at Starbucks holding the place up. Yeah.
Sophia Ali, right? Remember this ago? I'm watching it and I'm like, I recognize that girl. And I'm like, you know, on like Netflix, if you stop it, then they'll show like all the actors that are in it. They're little like they have their own little thumbnail, and you click that. Well, as soon as I saw her name, I knew it was my friend Sophia because it's been years. I shot a film in 2014 called The Walking Deceased that I made in Texas for like about $100,000. And we cast a lot of local actors out of Texas, and she was out of Dallas. And she was in the film because her dad owned a car dealership, and he invested some money into the film and put her in the film. And next thing you know, she's in this giant Tom Holland movie 5 years later. I'm super excited. And I rubbed it in my friend Carter's face going like, oh yeah. You know, I discovered her. I put her, go look at that. Like it says his giant film, which is probably $250 million. And then the next one is my $100,000 Walking Deceased.
That's funny. That's awesome.
Wow.
So anyone out there, just do it, man. Like this, we were talking about this Massacre Academy, a lot of first-time actors. It was shot in Pittsburgh. You know, if you're in a film with me, you're going to go right up that ladder past me, just like everyone else. So I'm a great welcome mat to future actors.
Well, I mean, that's where some of the bigger names started in like trauma movies and stuff like that, and you just work your way up the ladder, like you said, and eventually you become doofy and stuff like that. And
yeah, well, especially even more so than that, it's like Roger Corman's. If you look at his family tree of actors and directors, I mean, you've got Ron Howard and even Spielberg worked for Roger Corman at one point. You know, so.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. The names that are in there. Every once in a while I'll take a look, and some friends will bring it up because I'm not as versed in Roger Corman as they are, and I'm just like, holy crap! Yeah, you're right. It's crazy, but a lot of them don't give credit where credit's due sometimes too. Like same thing with Trauma guys. Like they don't really mention that they came from Trauma, but you'll find Sam Jackson in some Trauma stuff. You'll find there's a few people that are in there. Kevin Costner, stuff like that. Yeah. But I don't know, whatever. It is what it is.
Not me. I'm actually the opposite. Every time I'm at a convention and the Trauma booth is there, I'm like, is Lloyd here? No, Lloyd's not coming. Like, even I did the New Jersey Horror Con, and I don't know if Lloyd came out to this past one. And instead, they brought me a backpack with like a coloring book and stickers. Like it's I might as well got rice-a-roni and turtle wax or something, like, hey, you got just a consolation prize of you're not in a Trauma movie yet, but we gave you some partying goods. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go, kid.
I've never met him in person either. I've been to I don't know how many cons where Trauma's been at. I've never met him either in person. We've had him on the show a bunch of times, but he was awesome then. I don't know. They got some good stuff coming out. This Shakespeare Shitstorm is coming out.
Yeah,
and I've actually heard a lot of very good things about it, believe it or not, for a movie called Shakespeare Shitstorm. But yeah, I'm excited for it because I don't know the last handful of movies they've done, I've actually thought they're kind of bumping it up a little bit,
Yeah,
there's still Trauma, but yeah.
You guys are mostly horror, right? I mean, it's like you're aficionados of horror, correct?
Well, yeah, mostly we like everything, but the show's mostly about horror.
I was just wondering what you think the biggest franchise of a smallest franchise or the most underutilized franchise is. Like, is it Puppet Master? Is it Toxie? Is it like what brand hasn't like just said why didn't it just take some leap at some point, especially when IP is king with all this stuff? Meaning you've got Disney, you've got Amazon, especially Amazon, Apple, Netflix, who are like they want to exploit stuff. And you've got these IPs that, okay, when that has 30 years of built-in marketing, now we can take it up. Chucky's a great example of that. Here's Child's Play.
Mm-hmm.
And, you thought kind of like, okay, it's very niche. It's not going to be, it hit a ceiling. Is it really going to go anywhere? And next thing you know, it has a TV show, and you can't even walk into a horror-themed store without stumbling over 40 boxes of Child's Play Chucky dolls,
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I wish that I would see some more like Phantasm stuff out there, with the exception of if they ruin it. I mean, that's the thing is I'm afraid for anyone to touch some of these franchises because it's like if you mess it up, you mess it up. But that being said, my favorite is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and how many good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies are there?
All of them.
Yeah, please, come on.
We had this argument.
They're not all great.
Part 4, bro.
That famous bridge where it's very underwhelming. Apparently, like you cross over it in like 2 seconds, and they just kept shooting it or whatever,
Yeah.
And but it's a beautiful little quaint town too. The funny thing about that bridge is, as soon as you get over that, it's this beautiful little main street, and it's all gentrified now, and it's got bistro pubs and all the bistro lighting everywhere, and it's like, oh yeah, that's where they shot the Texas Chainsaw Massacre number 2 with the bridge or whatever. So
I must say, probably the franchise that I found that they haven't done anything with in years is like the Sleepaway Camp movies with Felissa Rose and all that stuff. They did the 3, and then they put out what was it, Return to Sleepaway Camp, and then you haven't heard anything much from that. And then I was going to say Critters, but then they put out the newest one a couple years ago with Dee Wallace and a couple people.
Thomas Lennon. That was good, yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty good. The Critters, and then they have like a TV show too that they came out with a couple.
I think it was maybe like a short run like miniseries or something.
Because I know they had that and then a movie. So I wonder what else hasn't been touched. Scream is still ongoing.
I don't know. I think Phantasm is. I know they're doing some more stuff with Hellraiser. I don't know.
Hellraiser's getting like two separate programs.
People are flipping out,
getting a show and then getting a movie.
You know what? Probably they can redo and do a little bit better, like the Basket Case movies.
What's a good?
They could probably like upgrade that, or like Maniac Cop or Psycho Cop or something along those lines.
Maniac Cop is that's a good. Under
Bruce
because he said underutilized or under I think Maniac Cops. It's got a bunch of sequels, and I like a lot of them. So
do you have any, Dave?
One of the remakes that I've been wanting to do for years was Chopping Mall, because we're in like the techno Orwellian, like the concept of the chopping mall can actually be more done today with the technology and with drones and craziness and the security systems and the smartphones, and because most horror films tend to get they got to always figure out how to get the phones out of people's hands so they don't call the cops or whatever. But this would be something where, hey, you automatically have a lockdown, you automatically have the AI Alexa lady shutting down the mall, and you can't get the service, and stuff like that. But that could be a lot of fun, especially. And the reason why, in Walking Deceased, we shot in a mall because every zombie movie happens eventually in a mall, and it was in San Antonio, and the mall at that point was pretty much free because there's enough rundown I wouldn't call them rundown. That's taking too much pity on them. But like just malls that are just don't have enough business right now, and they're closed, and especially after coming out of the pandemic. Now there's probably more malls around America that are struggling, and so you definitely can get in there on a dime and convince whoever manages the mall to let you shoot on off hours in different sections.
Yeah.
And if you wanted just one item, you just go to that mall and get it. And then if you have a main mall, there's enough malls all around. So
yeah,
they all kind of look the same.
Yeah, they do. In my area, it's unfortunate. They're actually just tearing down the malls and replacing them with Amazon warehouses.
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
The one by my house, they used to have a flea market in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then since all the stores started leaving, they started putting all the vendors in these stores. So when I went the other day, I was like, hey, that guy's selling old Ghostbusters shit. And then I was like, that looks like a tag sale. And then so they started using. So I went in and I talked to one of the guys. I was like, hey, were you guys part of the big flea market that JCPenney used to hold? And he's like, yeah, they started using, instead of letting the mall sit vacant, because the only flagship stores that are there are Old Navy and whatever other big store, keeping the mall, open. And they're like,
my closest mall, the flagship store is a Lens Crafters. Isn't that great? Everything else was all caged up. It was bad. But
so
hopefully...
he said, I got a night you could probably go in there, talk to property management, and get a little section of the mall, the back alleys, or some of the dock areas to film some stuff, and probably get it on a discount too.
Yeah, and you'll do it.
Yeah,
that is that's quite a mall. The flagship is the Lens Crafters. I mean, that's a good one.
Well, before that, it was the Sears, and the Sears is gone. So it's the only place that there was anyone actually in the stores was the Lens Crafter.
Yeah.
If you redid the shopping mall, and it would be modern, where a lot of the flagships are going down.
Yeah.
So that's why they're there, and there's been some break-ins and stuff, and that's why they have this new security system. And the idea that it's the last remaining Radio Shack holdout, and the guy is just such a that. My character's manager of the Radio Shack is we're the flagship now.
Yeah,
we fought it out. Macy's is gone. I'm the top dog. I'm the top dog.
We keep the heat on.
Yeah,
the Tandy 5000.
Actually, I have a Tandy Color Computer 3 in that.
Who thought of calling their goddamn computer a Tandy?
I don't know. I bought one. You could actually make the character's name Ray Dio, and it's just his store. It's Ray Dio Shack.
Yeah.
So that way you don't get sued, even though they're not around anymore. I'm just saying.
Now those I'm sure somebody owns that. The
Probably.
deed, so the name.
Yeah.
My connection is kind of bad here. I'm wondering if I drive around.
Do it up, and if it ends up being that you drop connection, you can always jump back in.
Just jump back in.
I can't. You think I'm trying to ask him if I can connect to Starbucks Wi-Fi from the parking lot? Yeah.
You probably could if you're parked close enough.
Yeah. How many bars you got?
I forget it. When you guys hit me up, I didn't realize I had to take him to baseball practice.
Okay,
so
family comes
apologize.
First. That's okay.
Wow.
I just want to say,
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Wow, this is cool too. Watching you drive and trying to find Wi-Fi.
It's the only. Yeah, I'm searching for Wi-Fi. In search of Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that'd be a good movie too.
The only way I get Wi-Fi is I keep going through the drive-thru at Starbucks. I got an old guy. Look at this dude trying to park his car here. This old man. Boy, he's doing like a 52-point turn here on his car.
Yeah, this is Beat by Beat with Sheridan.
Yeah. Look at how this guy walks right here. Look at him.
My problem is...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, the reason I can't... When I parked here before, was that the lighting was so bad. So let's see if I do pull up. But now I'm
Sergio's saying in the chat room that it's his birthday today.
Oh, it's Tony's birthday.
was Tony's birthday last week.
May 1st.
Now it's Sergio's birthday. You guys are birth friends.
Weird.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Sergio.
What up, birth friend? And
you guys should give each other birthday like shots.
Or would it be this one?
What up, Jeff?
What up, Jeff?
I'm logging onto Starbucks. Do I have to do anything else?
You're black screen right now.
Okay, you do. Oh my God, you gotta put your first name in. Last name.
The order.
I'll have a venti.
Maiden name. An email address.
I'll have a
Postal
venti pink.
This shows you how many times I go to Starbucks. I never go to Starbucks. They wanted a postal code.
Yeah, so they could bring the Wi-Fi closer to you next time.
Yeah, they want to see where you're coming from, so that way they can put another one across the street.
Oh yeah. We have a bet going in because
what's the bet?
He might have just signed in. He's signing into Wi-Fi, so
he just got sliders, dude.
Yeah. There he is.
There you are.
And was I not even ever on before?
No, you were.
It was a dark screen, but yeah, you were good.
Yeah, it sounded like you got pulled into the Matrix for a second there.
Just want to get in the shade a little bit so you can see me. Yeah. So, I have a bet because right now you don't see what it is. I know it's going to be a Starbucks, and I told my daughter, if that's a Starbucks, I'm going to let you know why they're never serious about trying to help other countries. You know, when we go to Iraq or Afghanistan, or why they're flooding the country from Honduras, because if they were really serious about wanting to establish a place to live in those countries, there would be Starbucks, there would be, Chipotle, there would be whatever, McDonald's, it's CVS's. That's how you establish a Western society, is by putting Western stores, that stuff's not there. If there's not a Carl's Jr. in being toppled in Afghanistan, then they were never serious about actually wanting any type of life for those people over there.
Yeah,
so.
no,
Angel, they're not serious about Massachusetts because we don't have a Carl's Jr. out here. We just have all the commercials.
We've been trying to get rid of Massachusetts since Paul Revere. The stupid fucking triangle hats. I mean, we're not even past that. You know what I'm saying?
I have a couple of them. I'm not lying.
Triangle hats.
Yeah, I got a closet full of them.
There you go.
That's what I wear to bed. But so I was going through your IMDb, and it said something that you were an intern at SNL at one point. What era of SNL were you at? Were you there?
Okay, yeah, I was there from like 91 to 92, 90 to 92. It was I worked for Kevin Nealon and the Weekend Update, and so I was his when he took over from Dennis Miller. And so I was a writer's assistant for the Weekend Update. My job all week, this was prior to the internet. So all week I had to read every newspaper, the magazines, whether it was Newsweek or Time or People, and then dog ear or cut out, articles that I thought were funny. And then on Saturday morning, I'd have all that laid out for the sketch writers, who then would go through and come up, pitch ideas and stuff like that. And I was able to pitch some jokes as well. And then once the jokes were approved, I had from like noon till basically 10:30 at night before the first dress rehearsal, or it was more like 10 at night, to go to AP and Getty and go pick up the photos and get the rights to the photos. And then we'd have to scan them and take the photos so that it would, whatever, if there was a joke, we had to basically a visual joke, we had to put that together that day. And again, no internet. So now they could just download the photo and grab it right away. I had to take a cab, all the way downtown from Midtown and stuff like that. So
that's crazy. Was it a good experience for you?
Oh, it was great. I had a ball. I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here with my son in a parking lot if I didn't have that. No, no, it was awesome. Yeah, it was the start of it was my dream. That's what got me in the business, was when I was in. I remember being in, the first year that came on, 1976, 1975. I was in kindergarten, and I would pretend to fall asleep on the couch so I could watch Saturday Night Live, and I'd have to watch with one eye, and I couldn't laugh at anything because then my dad would know that I'm awake. Because some of the humor was risque, especially it was thought to be risque back then, not ready for primetime players.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, I've been that was my whole dream, was to be involved in that show, and I did it right out of college, and I was like, well, now what do I do? You know, so
keep going.
Sergio's asking if you want his Wi-Fi. It's not going to work, Sergio. He's in another state. Sergio's wacky. But anyways,
thank you, Sergio.
Yeah. No, that's pretty sick. I still watch SNL religiously, even through like some of the years that they say it's like not great or whatever. I don't know. I still watch it every week. And I was the same deal. I used to lay there and pretend to sleep. And you know, I was born in 75, so it was a little bit later. But even like when they would show like reruns and stuff every once in a while, like old Belushi stuff, and you know, it was I always looked forward to like pretending to be sleeping so I could watch that. But yeah, that's great. That must be huge. I've gone through the studio tour there once, and it was awesome. It was I can't believe how small it is there, too, which was weird. It looks like it's so gigantic, but it's really not. But yeah, it was just like, wow, so much like history is in that show. And so many awesome people came from there. It's great.
When I was there, it was the 25th year, because I remember my jacket. When you work there, you get a jacket. Yeah, and I remember ours was the 20. It Saturday Night Live, but it had 25 in the center. So that was 20. You know, so it was 75. So it was 1990, and that was like 32 years ago. So they must be up to what? I'm not great at math, but man, 57 years. Is that right?
Well, I think. Well, if it came out in 75, I'm 40. I'm going to be. I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to be. I'm 47. Yeah.
47 years.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been around. I mean, I still think it's pretty solid too. Like some of the new kids, they're taking more risks now. Like there's a lot of weirder stuff on there. I don't know if you still watch it, but there's a lot of weirder sketches. Like they're just being stranger, which is great. You know, they're not just trying to be the old political jokes all the time, you know, like they were for a while.
Yeah, no, I definitely have not tuned into it for a long time, but you know.
Yeah, there was a while like when like Tim and Eric was kind of big, that you'd see a lot of weirder stuff on SNL. There's a girl who's on there now named Sarah Squirm. She does a lot of like off-Broadway stuff too, and she's bizarre. She's absolutely bizarre, and they have her on as a cast member now, so it's when she's on, it's crazy. But I don't know, that's pretty huge. That's pretty awesome. Are you still like friendly with anyone that you met there? Even like any other people you work behind the scenes with?
Yeah, I mean, like if I'm the only one I'd be friendly with is like I would say like Adam Sandler, maybe. You know, Chris Farley's dead.
R.I.P.
Really hung out with Chris Rock, but probably more Adam via Nick Swartzen, maybe because Nick is friendly with me. You know, David Koechner was on that show, but it was not the same time that I was.
Yeah,
so,
when I went to do the studio tour, he was a cast member, and I was in the hallway, and him and Mark McKinney came out in like full costume to go outside and smoke cigarettes or something. And I was like, oh my god. David Koechner and Mark McKinney just walked by. This is ridiculous. Like, because I'm a huge Kids in a Hall guy too, so I was all about that. It was, I don't know, it's just that whole life is just magic to me. That's why it's cool to go meet you guys in at conventions and stuff. It's like, you know, meeting heroes, you know.
Yeah, it's funny because when I worked there, we were able to just smoke in the elevators. But you got to go outside to smoke.
Yeah, nowadays 2022.
Yeah.
Well, this wasn't this. This was still a while ago, but it was yeah. I used to work at a store that you could smoke in the store back in the late 80s. They had ashtrays all throughout the store, which was kind of weird.
When I shot this film called Scream Test with Felissa Rose, we shot in Florida, and that's a pretty good film. It's more of like a murder mystery or whatever, but the ending is, I think the ending is like a lot of her films always has that little twist ending. And trying to get Jade here. There you go.
Tony, you're very loud.
I apologize. I'm moving something. Hold on.
He's looking for the movie on DVD or Blu-ray. He's got it. That's
exactly.
My mouth is open, going like. There was a bar. We'd go to a bar, this local Florida bar, and it still had the cigarette machines that you could just like
pull the thing.
That was a dream. When you're a kid, trying to smoke without your parents knowing, those
you go to
machines were,
the little restaurant there it is. I told you her mouth was open.
Yeah. She's the best. She's awesome.
Did you see it, Tony?
Yep, that's where she loses her voice and then she can't scream anymore, and then there's a killer on set and stuff. It's a fun one for sure.
But you know what I'm talking about? The ending. There is a little twist. I'd like the ending of like, it's just a funny ending the way what she does at the end and what I do. So
yeah.
Now I got a question. You've been in the business for a long time and then shooting different, genres and stuff. Is there like a crazy difference between the way movies were made, from, even the 90s, like every, I guess, decade? Is there a crazy difference between it, or is it almost generally the same?
I think it's pretty much the same. The only main difference I would notice was dealing with film and going into digital cameras is just the reload. The reload time of film was like, hold on, we're out of film, and there's a lot. You really feel that downtime of these guys coming in with these, the bags to not let the light in, to change out the film and the containers and cleaning it all. You have to clean the camera every time you're changing that out to make sure there's not hair or dust, and stuff like that. So that downtime's about the only thing. And the upside to that is you get to improvise a lot more and just shoot. You shoot a lot more. Films are definitely shot the same way, but as I moved into more horror and more like, I hate to say low budget horror, but just more independent horror, you're shooting a movie in 2 weeks. You're shooting a movie in, 17 days.
Yeah.
And I did another film with Marlon Wayans in November for Netflix, and that was 150 days or something like that. It was a big difference. Things move a lot slower, but there's also, in that film there was 5 cameras rolling all the time. So you have 5, that's 5 times the amount of crew members. And that's 5 times the amount of food. That's 5 times the amount of transportation you need. That's 5 times the catering. You know what I'm saying? So it was a giant film. It's a really, when we shot it, it was called Boo.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're gonna end up. That is not going to be the title for sure. I could be wrong, but usually it's not.
Boo.
But that film, it takes place on Halloween night, and it's about, I don't know if you guys have noticed in the last 5 years, or maybe it's been longer coming, but the lawn ornaments are getting crazier and crazier. They're getting bigger. There's these skeletons, there's horses, headless horsemen, there's carriages, there's knights, there's bats, there's giant sized 11-foot werewolves, and they're all like, now they're run on like, laser detecting. Like if you walk near it, you don't even have to step on the thing anymore. It comes alive and blows smoke and talks and moves. And this film is about about one neighborhood that just goes overboard with all that stuff. And now the lawn ornaments all come alive, and that could Jumanji kind of Night at the Museum kind of thing. And it meets Attack the Block, where the parents have to kill these things with weed whackers and rakes and,
that sounds
tennis
amazing.
ball launchers.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
It says you play Farmer Brown on that.
I do. I'm actually the old crotchety farmer that warns them. They're getting too deep, and I'm actually a guy that grows those giant pumpkins for like a competition.
Yeah.
And for that role, I decided I wanted to be orange. I want to have like orange hair, because how like when the people own dogs, they start to like look like their dogs, or their dogs resemble their dogs. And I was like, well, I'm like, I probably cut just the perfect size hole into some of these pumpkins. Hey man, close your ear. Maybe I have sex with these pumpkins. I don't know, but I'm a pumpkin farm. You remember how, like in Forrest Gump, there was the Bubba Gump that was like everything shrimp.
Yeah.
Shrimp, or, that's me with pumpkins. Like pumpkin seeds, pumpkin vine, pumpkin this, and pumpkins are beautiful. They're gourds. They're gorgeous.
They're gorgeous.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah. No,
is that scheduled to come out like around next Halloween?
Yeah, this Halloween coming up probably.
Yeah, it says post-production right now. And the other one, you said we mentioned Time's Up, but then I don't know how to say it in French, but I know it's Protect Me, where you play Zogan Blitz. That's been on my radar because I forget who's
Protégé Moi.
Yeah, Protégé Moi.
We haven't shot that yet, but
no.
Okay. That is, I think the guy from the Greasy Strangler is going to be in that with me. I don't know
which one?
The old one. The old guy.
Yeah, I did a podcast with him years ago. He's like a hairdresser in real life, or he was a hairdresser, and he had some crazy stories. I'm sure you probably met him at some cons and stuff.
I have. He's always like playing. He's like, "That's my penis. That's my penis." I go, "Okay." I'll show you right now. I don't need to see it, man.
That's all me. That's all me. Yeah. And then there's the other one that I'm interested in watching is Bloody Summer Camp, where you play Sheriff Wilmore on there.
That one is really good. If you get it, get the Blu-ray. I bet Tony has it, but Tony's
I know
it's up there.
Do you really?
I do have it. The funny thing is because I put in for the what was it, Indiegogo or something?
Yeah, right.
And Dave Kerr was actually at the he wasn't there, but his company had a table at Monster Mania. So I mentioned, I'm like, hey, well, I do have an indie. So they had like 2 or 3 copies, and they're like, well, I'm like, well, we had him on. We had him on a couple times for was the other one, Scare Me or something? I forget the other one that he. Yeah. So
you could put this up and block my son.
Yeah,
I'm getting my son to do some lighting. We call
there you go.
Hanging some duve. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hang a little flag on there.
Yeah, kill that light.
But yeah, so anyway, they had to check the list that I actually donated, and I got the movie at the con. So
and then
it is up.
You off. Yeah, I got mine. A while after that.
Hey, that lighting did pretty good. Look at that.
There you go.
This kid, he's got a job as a gaffer.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other thing I want to talk about is, I mean,
hold on. Can I just say something on the Bloody Summer Camp? So,
yeah.
Did you get the Blu-ray or not the Blu-ray?
Yeah, the Blu-ray. It's up there.
Good. Yeah, get the Blu-ray. It's a longer movie, but Dave left in way more improvisation that I did and stuff like that. So there's, I just feel like I need to get it. That's what I want to get. I got to get a copy of that so I can see it. But I've seen the film. It's pretty good. I like it. It's long though. It definitely is long.
But it has my favorite I remember on TikTok they always that one of the videos was like, "What's your favorite trope in a horror movie?" And or scenery, whatever. And ever since like Sleepaway Camp for some reason, and like the Friday the 13th and stuff. When it's based off at a summer camp, for some reason, that's like my favorite location for a horror movie. So
why not? Of course. What are you talking about? Yeah, I love.
So it's definitely up there. But what I was going to say is, a lot of the stuff that you've been in, it's like you said, it's more independent stuff. But everyone we talked to recently, because we have a lot of more lower budget independent stuff, it seems like, we mention it. I don't know if they wanted, but like, especially the crew, like you were talking about with Time's Up and On Location or stuff like that. Do you find it more of like a family feel to it as opposed to on like bigger sets or?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah. Big difference there. Because everyone's wearing multiple hats. Usually someone's mom is cooking or they have to go out and get food. So on the bigger movies, it's like, this is what we're having. and it's really nice. We're having either Chilean sea bass or you can have sushi or something like that. But you don't really have a choice. Where on the other ones, it's like sometimes they didn't even think about the food until everyone's starving, and then it's like, oh, you guys want to get some? We can go down to Gino's and get some pizza, or we got the steak place, steak sandwiches, and it's like, oh, like I love eating comfort food when I'm starving, whereas on a regular film, there is lunch. It's like, okay, it's lunch. And it's like, I'm not even that hungry. And you're kind of like,
eat. You got to eat now.
Yeah. But I would say, especially during COVID, when there was all sorts of restrictions from a studio side of how to wear a mask, go back to your trailer, don't get within 6 feet of any of the actors, yourself, like even on like the Netflix one, it's like you're a blue zone, you're a green zone, you're wearing like those like those pager things that when you're waiting for a table somewhere and they'll give you those little coasters.
Yeah,
they had things like that were in your pocket. If you walked in the wrong zone, it would like
really
intruder.
So yeah, I love the fact that, and that's why I probably shot more films during COVID than not, because in the independent filmmaking, it didn't affect them because they were already a 20-person crew. You know what I mean? They're already shooting outdoors. They already didn't have permits. It's like, so.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff. The special, I remember that's
That was Harrison Smith.
Yeah, Harrison Smith's movie.
Yep.
I like
that movie. That movie,
it's really good.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that movie.
Especially towards the end when
that's a good thumbs up for everyone. Good, yeah.
Yeah, because at that point in time, I remember the special effects towards the end, like the prosthetics and stuff. I was like, okay, that came out of nowhere, but I was just like, okay, that's where I guess most of the budget went to. But that scene was like, I was like, okay, that's really cool looking. So
I like Harrison a lot as a person as well. So I'm glad whenever he puts something out that I'm like, oh, thank God. Like some of his other movies, some of them may not have been as well received that I still enjoyed, but I thought this one was a go for him. For sure.
Your character in it.
I did. I emailed him and said, look, this special came out really well. He shot it in his hometown, and it was a small, what were there, like 5 actors in the thing? It was small. It moved, and I was like, this reminds me of the independent, like a Ghost World movie that I would do with like a horror, meets like a Cronenberg kind of like creature little twist. And I'm like, stay in some, this would be, you should, because he lives in Amish country. I go, you got to do something with all these Amish people, and like, there's, Children of the Corn kind of thing or something. Like there's got to be something, mine what you know what I mean? And then he's like, my next one's called Monkey Island, and there's going to be these rabid monkeys. We're going to shoot it down in Puerto Rico. I go, what the? Like, I just told you to stay small. Like, Monkey Island. Monkey Island.
You said, do what I know. I know monkeys, and I know Puerto Rico, so that's what I'm doing.
Never work with monkeys. Never work with monkeys.
So if anyone hasn't seen the special, I do recommend searching that out. Because
it's a little uncomfortable. Don't watch it with your kids or your parents.
The first time I was like,
I enjoyed it.
Where the farmer likes the pumpkin, this one's a different different hole.
Are you still doing the band stuff, or is that kind of on hiatus?
Well, it's never on hiatus. It's there's a vinyl that's going to get put out because we recorded like 26 songs, and we never really put out any music. Mm-hmm. We recorded them, but we never put them out. And then some German record company said, we'll put a vinyl out of so I gave them a certain amount of songs. And I don't know when that's going to come out, but when I get my share, I'll be using that as Indiegogo perks that's where I'm working towards right now. Like, I've been doing a lot of conventions, but this will be like my last year of doing the conventions. So catch me if you can. And I've been making the ghost face masks from the masks that I own. We talked about that Tony on the email. Like I thought I'd be home. I actually forgot all about this. Not today, I didn't forget about it, but I did forget about it today too. But when I got your email, I was like, when did we book this? When did we book
New Jersey HorrorCon?
Who are you?
Wait, you booked something at New Jersey HorrorCon, but a date? We booked a date?
Yeah, because you're like, I'm starting to do something in May, and you're like, maybe like at the beginning of May, and I'm like, oh, it would be a couple days after my birthday, and you're like, oh, like I'm gonna remember. I'm like, hey, listen, I'll write you down. I'll book you in there. I'll write it down.
Remember your birthday.
Like, wait a minute. I knew there's a reason I bought this card.
Tony's birthday, and in 2 days, I'm going on the Wicked Horror Show.
Oh, that's right. It's Tony's birthday. That's right.
Yeah.
It's a national holiday.
Like, and I was probably, half in the bag. I'm like, I'm making this face all day. Yeah. Oh, can you do May? What is today's date? May 4th? I don't even know.
May 3rd.
Right.
You're like, you got it. Write me down. Put me down.
One day before the Star Wars date, 2 days before Cinco de Mayo, and 2 days after my birthday.
I knew exactly. You remember it, so that's why I wrote you down.
So do you want to talk about that a little bit with the
what do you making
more of the masks?
Well, I have the screen worn versions of the What's Up mask with the tongue and the hero mask. I kept those, and the reality is there's never been a scary movie mask that has been an exact replica. Yeah. Whether it's the tongue one, whether it's the stoner one, none of them are exact replicas of what was worn. When they did Fun World or Easter Unlimited, they made their own version of it. And the scary movie Ghostface mask, there has been a lot of artists that have done a version of it, trying to get the mouth right and the eyes and stuff, but nothing's ever been exact. And I think they're latex, they're foam latex, and they're kind of falling apart. And what a lot of people don't know, and I was going to show you the mask, is my mouth is fabric. It's not solid, which is why it has a different shape, because it was longer, like the regular screen mask, but they couldn't hear me because I did the voice live because Keenan wanted me to improvise the voice and come up with funny stuff. Yeah. And so they couldn't hear me. They cut the mouth out and put a fabric in there, and it widened the mouth out because it lost what was holding it together. And then I would tie it really tight so it wouldn't shift around on my face. And I just never had a way to. Technology caught up, and it's kind of good because it was the timing worked out well. Now we're 22 years later, but now there's the technology to take a laser, 3D modeling, and then send that in through a 3D printer. And I printed out a resin positive of the masks, but they're exact. I mean, so exact that you see the hand carvings. And, a lot of people, all the market, the what do you want, Spirit of Halloween kind of stores and stuff like that. Yeah. Masks are like smooth, but all of my masks were just an artist really quickly, like hand sculpting it in clay or whatever and making a mold. So they have all sorts of imperfections in it. I remember when we poured a couple of the one mask, and there was a review, and the guy goes, they were poured really fast and cheap, lots of air bubbles, lots of imperfections. What he doesn't know is those are imperfections that are in the actual screen worn mask, because the tongue mask we made one tongue mask because it was only in one shot. It was a pickup shot. That was a reshoot that we shot 2 months before the movie came out, because we shot the movie in September. Then the Super Bowl Budweiser commercials came on in January, and they became a hit. And Keenan wanted to just add in a few more things that were more like, this is happening now, not last year.
Yeah, so pop culture.
Shot that mask thing. And the flip side of the tongue mask, the What's Up, that mask is they didn't cut my eyes out. I can't see that's actually a solid mask. That's why I'm just sitting in a chair, Yeah. So that mask doesn't have eyes, and the other mask is got fabric in the mouth. So that's why I couldn't make copies, because of the fabric and stuff. You can't pour silicone over. It would have ripped up all the paint. And my original mask, though, there's no blood on the What's Up one because I didn't do any killing. But the mask I wore, I did a lot of killing. There was I killed 23 people in Scary Movie. I don't know if people don't know the kill count, but it was 23 people. But it really went up with the party scene. There's a lot of
the rap scene where you're doing the freestyle and just like, and then half of them are on the ground dead. It's like, okay.
There's 12 people dead in that scene right away. So I'm already I already have the record. I definitely have in one movie Ghostface kill record. You know what I mean? Yeah, and a lot, like, again, the mask with the holes, they had me improvise. I just made that wrap up. And so that's why you had to hear me. Then I came back to do ADR before the movie. We did do some ADR. And then they surprised me and said, hey, we're gonna continue that rap for the end credit song. Can you go out in the hallway there and write another verse? And so I wrote another verse and I came back in and I re-rapped that. And then, so also in my first film on the music credits, we have a song that I'm rapping on, at the end. So
that's awesome. That's crazy. So where will these masks be available?
Probably 3 places. We're going to sell them at Bloomingdale's, at Bed Bath and Beyond, and also Sharper Image.
Are those still around? Right next to the Radio Shack?
The Radio Shack.
Yeah.
It's I'm selling them at the most ridiculous places. No, I'm gonna have them. I think the first show that I'm gonna have them at will be this one in Ocala, Florida. It's called Ocala. That's like in 2 weeks. So I've been these are hand painted. I'm pouring them. So here's the one thing, and if you guys have audiences, you want to DM me or lay into these guys, because I got to still do some market research on this. I talked to people about like I made a first batch out of the latex, and it's really hard to paint the latex without it cracking if you don't have the right stuff. Those and then somebody finally told me you have to mix it with liquid latex. So you got to take the acrylic paint and mix it with liquid latex and then make a mixture, and I'm not trained enough to do that on the fly. And so another guy told me if I made them out of resin, like a Jason hockey mask, as replicas, they're going to last forever, and people are going to want to mount them, and
it's exactly what I was thinking. I would want to mount one on my wall.
So I ended up this next round, I actually made hard so that they're mountable, and we even carved in a place in the back to put a hook. So, like there's a place you can literally mount it with one of those frame hooks if you wanted to, or put it in a picture box. But the good news about that is I'm able to paint them way, way more quality and better, because now you paint with regular latex paint and then you seal it. You could seal it. And also for me to sign it is just going to be better, because I'm always jealous of, CJ Graham or even Kane or anyone that has worn the hockey mask. They get to sign a machete and a hockey mask. A machete's the easiest thing to sign. It's a nice flat thing. And then the hockey mask at least it's hard. It's got a little holes you got to work around. Yeah. But people are always bringing me up these, Ghostface masks that wobble, and it's so hard to sign. And there's all the little grooves and stuff. I'm like, man, I just want a nice rigid mask. And so now these will be rigid and I can sign them way better, so they'll look nicer. I mean, it's more on the upside. They are still exact replicas, duplicates of what my mask, which hasn't been done. So,
and you're painting these all on your own?
I'm painting them and we're pouring them, and I do have some help doing the pouring and stuff like that. And that's the other side of doing the resin. Is when I was doing the latex, it was taking like 4 hours to cure a latex mask. These resin masks, they cure in 4 minutes.
So, wow.
So a lot of people talk about the materials being more expensive, but time and labor. If you have this stuff set up, you have two molds going in your garage at 4 hours. You're doing 2 you're doing 4 every 8 hours, but you're also not sitting around. You can't jump in your Prius and be on the Wicked Horror Show. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But that's awesome though. So just wherever you're going to be you said for the next year. After that, you're done with conventions.
Yes, and also though up on my Instagram when I get back on there, I was just in the hospital. I just got out of the hospital.
Oh, geez,
last week. I don't want to. I'm not going to really talk about it, but I will. Yeah. I'm going to make a post on my Instagram to chat about that, so people know what's going on. But I will list them on my Instagram. I don't know if I'm going to do a Instagram store or some sort of private store, or just tell people that they can
custom.
Yeah, that they could, message me.
Yeah,
and then we could just, because there are people there's people in Germany, there's people in Belgium, there's people in Argentina. I don't know what it is about Argentina and horror, and especially Ghostface. They love them, and I get probably one message a week, one email a week of like, I heard you're going to make masks. When are they going to be available? I want to buy one. So obviously it wouldn't be nice for me to only make them available where you see me live. So I definitely will offer them up. What I'll probably even do is, if I start doing shows, since I'm making them by hand and a few at a time, I'll probably have like some sort of pre-order idea of this many people want them at Spookala, spoken for kind of thing, but I'll bring a little bit more because that's again, what do you guys think? Like, should I put a cap on how many I make to make it kind of like a special thing, or what do you think?
I'd say just because especially like for your main coming from a collector, it's one of those things where I think some of the ones where it's limited are a little bit more special. Do I hate it when I miss out on stuff? Of course, but also as the collector part, it's like.
Maybe like certain ones, like maybe like maybe the What's Up mask is limited, or whatever. Like maybe make one of those a little bit more, like numbered and everything. Have one of them be more common.
Yeah, and then once you hit that number, you know what I'm saying, like mass produced all through, But then once you hit that number, that's it. Even if you do 12 at a time, once you hit 3,000 mass produced, and it's like, thank you guys.
Yeah, I'd definitely be a long time for me to make 3,000.
But hey, trust me, if you say, "Hey guys, message me on my Instagram," you're gonna get messages, and they're gonna come in by like, "Hey, I heard you got masks. Now's the time." You're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, 5 came in." You're gonna go to bed and you're gonna wake up. It's gonna be 400. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, so the other thing is, I plan on going out with. Because I have never taken the What's Up mask out. I ended up getting a blow up recliner. And I got the phone. And the other thing I kept was the 40-ounce bottle.
Nice.
But here's the thing. They changed it. I think it was they made it killer malt liquor or something like that. I was actually drinking Satan malt liquor, and they changed the label.
Oh wow.
I have is Satan. And so that's really interesting. Again, another little change, I think that was something where like, oh, Satan's not funny. You know what I mean? Killer.
Satan's not good. Killer.
So you're going to do like photo ops with it and stuff?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's awesome.
In that way, there's like, it's like photo ops, and then you have the mask, and they could have, if they buy the mask, and they'll bring it out and hold it at the photo op, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's sounds like a good idea to me. That way you don't have to be dressed up like Doofy all the time too.
Yeah, exactly. The Doofy is 100%. Get him while you can, because I was just walking up the stairs going, I love Doofy. He means a lot to me. Trust me. He was based on 2 people I knew growing up.
Yep.
I made 2 short films. The original character's name was Chip, and I made these short films in my neighborhood of this Chip character. He was working at a Chevron station. This is the short film I have, and someday I'm going to dig that up. It's on VHS tape, but that's the tapes that the Weinstein saw and said, this guy would be great for Doofy. Let's have him. And they approached me saying, we want you to play Chip. We want you to play this role of Doofy as your character Chip. You just have to meet with Keenan and have him approve, because the boss has already said, put this guy in.
Yeah.
And I read the script, and that's when I said, I'll do it, but I have to play the killer. Like, because I was revealed as the killer all in the script, but they were never really even thinking of me putting the robe and the mask on, and I pitched him. I said, I got to play it. There's a lot of comedy to be hashed in that character. There's a lot of physical comedy, and coming from a world of physical comedy, and that kind of like a Buster Keaton aspect, and Harold Lloyd and stuff like that. Like that's the kind of stuff I grew up on. And Three Stooges for sure, obviously. So I was like, I want to be able to, make those scenes funny. And I only didn't wear the mask there's only 2 shots, really 3, but there's 2 shots that I'm not the guy in the robe. And one is when he's running down the stairs from the piano. That's not me. They said it was too dangerous. There was another stunt person involved, this old lady, and it was a piano really coming down the stairs, even though it was on a cable. I could have slipped or the robe could have got caught. So they said, no, you're not doing it. But they had me show the stunt guy how I would run. And then the other one is that final kick through the window. It's like more of a Michael Myers kind of ending where I go smashing through the window and now I'm gone. Yeah. And that was what we call one and done, where it was a very expensive piece of real glass. It wasn't, you can't do candy glass, something that big. That has to be a real pane of that other glass that breaks apart though. What's it called? I forget. Tempered glass. Right.
Yeah.
And it has these little pins in it where they just hit a button and the pins hit it and it shatters it as the actors then launch through as close as possible. But from this perspective, if the actor's coming towards me, you can't see that he's really that far away, right? And comes and then they shatter the glass. It looks like he went through the glass.
Yeah.
But I could have did that stunt physically, but they were just like, if you're responsible for the glass getting fucked up, we're fucked because we're not setting another piece of glass up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're gonna pay for that, or you're gonna let these guys get thrown through it? You're like, all right.
I did get shaken down because it was my first film, and the stunt crew took me out for lunch. Hey, Dave, we want to take you out for lunch. And I'm like, oh, this is great. We went to like a Carl's Jr. actually. We went into a Carl's Jr. I go, this isn't going out for lunch. This is going through a drive-through or whatever, right? And they said, do you know Gary? I forget the kid's name. And I'm like, no, I don't never met you, man. Hey, I'm Dave. And they're like, you know why you don't know Gary? Because he's your stunt double. And he hasn't worked because you're masked the whole time. I'm like, oh, okay. And they said, Gary's got a wife and kids, and he gets paid when he does your stunt double. I'm like, oh, okay. And they go, the rest of us, well, we're the stunt coordinator, and we do the stunts, arrange the stunts, and we're also responsible for the safety of the stuntman or you when you're in the mask. We're responsible if you get hurt or don't get hurt. And Gary, he can get hurt because, that's what he's paid to do, and he wants to make money for his kids. You get hurt and, you could get really hurt. So maybe Gary should do some stunts for you and maybe wear the mask.
Wow.
So you don't get hurt.
Yeah, we wouldn't want it to happen to you, right? So I'm like, okay, yeah, Gary can wear the mask a couple times, just twice.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So you're telling me you just didn't want to take me out to lunch?
Yeah.
I have a feeling.
You know what?
I felt the biggest thing was I wasn't at first when I was like, man, I'm getting shaken down, and I've been threatened before. I'm an asshole. Of course, I've been being threatened your whole life. But I was more shocked. I didn't even know what was going on until it happened. I go, how did I not know this was a fucking shakedown? Like in the first place when I'm getting in, because all those stunt guys up there, they have the Donnie Brasco leather jackets. They all look like Tom already. You know what I mean? Like the car.
Hey, Dave, you know Gary here?
Yeah. You can picture it, man.
That's crazy. So it's about time that we wrap things up. We definitely appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Are you working on anything besides what else you got coming up? You got anything?
Yeah, I'm sure there's other stuff we didn't talk about coming up. The issue with one of the things is with independent movies. You look at my IMDb, it's like, okay, shot that one, but now that one, like, there's a great one coming out called Patsy Lee and the Key to the Fifth Kingdom or Fifth
Keepers of the Five Kingdoms.
Yeah, it's me, Bei Ling, Zach Ward. Zach Ward directed it. He's from Christmas Story and Transformers. And James Hong. James Hong was 92 years old when we shot this, and I had a martial arts scene. I had a fight with James Hong at 92. He beat the crap out of me. and he wanted to get in. I was like, come on, let James get in and do this stuff. But again, he had a stunt double.
Yeah, let Gary work. Let Gary work.
It wasn't Gary. His name was Craig. And Craig, so they're like, look, if James breaks a hip, we're screwed. He's 92, Dave. And I go, yeah, but they go, you just want to be in a scene with James Hung beating up a 92-year-old. I go, yeah, that I do. But at the same time, you want, like, come on, let me do it. He's like, Big Trouble Little China and stuff. But he's also in Chinatown. But this movie was a script that he wrote, and he wanted to make it for 22 years, and and he paid for it. At 92, he said, this is my going away. I want to make this movie. I've been wanting to make it since I was 70, which is hilarious. I'm 53. And I because he's 92, I was like, I've been wanting to make this movie for 22 years. It's like my whole life since I was 70. Like, I'm like, what the heck? So really, life doesn't start till you're 70. Speaking of 70, that was the thing. So I start beating up this guy, Craig, or kicking him, and he's doing these jumps into the pads and stuff like that. This is James' stunt double. And I'm like, oh. And he's like, yeah, I've been James' stunt double for like 40 years or something like that. I go, oh. And he goes, I'm his nephew. I go, you're his nephew? Yeah, he's my uncle. And I go, wait, he's 92. Craig, how old are you? And he's like, yeah, I'm 73. So the stunt double was 73. I'm like, I got like, oh, we did go younger, but like, we didn't go like a 30-year-old. We went to his fucking cousin. So, and I called Zach Ward over. I go, but you realize the stunt double's 73? And he goes, yeah, but he's not in the movie. I don't care if he gets hurt. He can break a fucking head.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That movie's going to be awesome, though. That movie, I've seen cuts of it. I mean, again, the producers and director, nobody would want me to say what the budget is, only because when they go to sell these movies to distributors, they're not going to divulge the budget, because if it looks like a $20 million movie, they want to get money. They should get what they should get the product they're selling, not what the product was made for.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And so when distributors find out how little you made a movie for, then they're going to try to they know
downplay it and like
lowball, yeah.
So, but I would say the movie looks like a Zemeckis. It looks like a studio movie. Like, it looks like something shot on the back lot, but we shot it in a place called Globe, Arizona, which looks like it had the high school, like from Back to the Future. It had like the clock tower, Main Street thing. Like, it was an old Globe, Arizona hasn't been touched since 1950. You know what I mean? It was like a copper mining town. Now it's nothing. And so they're like, yeah, but because you're in Arizona, just like the airplanes, like in, that whole collection of airplanes in the Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where they have these airplanes that are like in mint condition, because when you move stuff out to the desert, there's no, corrosion, there's no, rain and the salts and stuff like that. So these buildings are beautiful out there in Globe, Arizona. So
it sounds crazy interesting. Like, I don't know. It's really cool. I'm looking forward to a lot of these things. And I'm also like, hopefully you'll be coming back out this way.
Yeah.
Because it'd be cool to meet you.
Coming out East
before
Coast.
You stop doing the cons. Yeah, East Coast by chance?
There's definitely some. I don't know my whole schedule, but I would tell you this. I know that I'm going to be at a show called Classic Rewind.
That's an AC as well.
It's by the same people that do the horror company, but this one is more pop culture. So like Scott Baio's going to be there, and I'm sure they're going to be adding more wrestlers. And I like, like Chiller, like the Chiller one.
Yeah.
Yep. It's more pop culture. The good news on that one is I'm going to be doing, I wanted to change it up on like a photo op, and I thought, well, if that one's pop culture, I could do Doug from Ghost World. I don't know if you guys seen Ghost World.
I love Ghost World. I love Ghost World.
I thought I'm going to do that one with the mullet, the nunchucks, and
I was going to comment on your headshot here on your IMDb. I love the hair.
Yeah, solid mullet.
Right there, but
it's a solid mullet you got there.
Many different mullets.
So we'll keep our eyes peeled, because it would definitely be awesome. Are you still booking cons, or are you all like done with that? Like for this year?
No, No, December and November, December, and there might be a couple weeks in October are still like forming, shaping.
Okay.
The one thing about October, November, and the reason I kind of keep those open on the domestic side is that is where the bigger European conventions are, but yet they're like still COVID sensitive, or what are the restrictions, and it's not so much that they have these major restrictions. They probably have restrictions very similar to other states, but those conventions are the size of like Monster Mania. And to bring actors over, they have to pay a premium. Like there's guarantees we get to go over there. Just the flights alone are $2,000 that they have. So it is a lot for them to commit, and they usually, so they're still working that out. So there are some pieces changing here and there. I might be canceling out of some and might be adding others. So nothing's set in stone, but there's a lot of shows already booked. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's some that already not allowed to announce until they announce.
I was going to say if there's any that like I know of that are looking for guests, I was going to say like, oh, you should reach out. But they can still reach out, and if you're not available, you're not available.
Yeah, do that. Why
okay.
not? I love
might as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It'd be cool. So people can follow you on Instagram for more info on where you're going to be, and also eventually ordering some Ghostface masks. So what's the best? You have a couple different Instagrams that you're part of. Which one should they be following for that info?
The Was Up Tour.
Okay.
Is Was Up Tour 2022.
Okay.
And after that, it might be called something else because maybe it'll be 2023.
Yeah.
Eventually, I did start a new one called Dave Sheridan's Americhameleon. There's nothing on that yet. That's going to be something I'm building for 2023, which is very similar to how we just talked about Saturday Night Live, about the Chip short films, except that's going to be like kind of like me starting from 1973 and digging through my attic. So in that particular case, like we talked about Saturday Night Live, I have like Schmitz. It was like Schmitz gay liquor. Like it was a Schmitz gay.
Yeah.
I've got that, or another one was called Cold Cocked. When we shot that, it was a cold cocked malt liquor thing, and works every time. And I've got those that I kept from shooting. I got the jacket, things like that. Or if we get to the scary movie part, I'll show the robe and the knife and like the little things like the chair. My chair said "Scream if you know what I did last Halloween," where Jamie Kennedy's chair said "Scary Movie." Yeah. His movie, his original chair didn't say Scream. The back of his chair says Scary Movie. The back of my chair says Scream if you know what I did last Halloween was the name when we shot the movie. And then they changed it to Scary Movie. So it's kind of little trivia things like that are interesting. So it'd be more of a visual show and tell, but then also have a guest on who is a part of that, timeline.
Yeah.
So John Abrams or Lachlan and Monroe, or maybe Keenan Ivory Wayans when I'm talking about Scary Movie, but they won't be on when I'm talking about that now or prior to that. So SNL maybe have on that would be good to get on. Who would I probably have on? I would probably try to get Adam Sandler, because when I was there, it was Adam Sandler and Chris Rock and Chris Farley were the guys that I kind of hung with in the kind of mud crew area. They were, look, I was the kid looking up to them, and they weren't that much older than me, but they would take me out. Adam took me out, and I did stand up in front of him for like 5 minutes. Chris Rock took me out. And then later on that week, we'd be hanging out in the writer's room, and they were asking, how'd you do? And what kind of notes and that stuff. Like, hold on a second. Son, don't cough. And
kids nowadays, right?
We gotta practice. The last thing, and then I do have to get him to his other practice here.
Okay.
We were talking about what I was doing, and Chris Farley was like, well, what do you do at your stand-up? I said, I play all these different characters, and I do commercial parodies and stuff like that. And that's when he said, well, I think you sounds like you would do better at Second City. And that's where he was from. And I knew SCTV, but I didn't know what Second City Theater was. I didn't know anything about improv or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And he said, I can hook you up there if you want to go out there, go to Chicago and, you know, get on stage there. And I was like, yeah, I love that. So he made a phone call to this woman named Joyce Sloan. And I was Joyce Sloan's last hire. And Joyce Sloan was famous for discovering John Belushi. She loved the fat guys, which was funny because Chris Farley was her favorite. And then I got there and I was like 90 pounds. And everyone and she was retiring. And it was like, damn, her last hire, like, yeah, she don't have it no more, man. She thinks this guy's a fat guy. She's losing it. She's senile.
That's funny. No, Second City, that's legendary too. That's huge. So yeah, it would be interesting to hear more stories about that for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I shared the stage there with Steve Carell, Steve Colbert, Amy Sedaris, Horatio Sands, and Dave Sheridan. They you know, Amy Poehler, Tina Fey. Like we had a really great group. You know.
Oh, you were there when that group was there?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dave Pasquazi. It's funny. He could attest to this. Tell them we watch Mandalorian, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the other one? Boba Fett. And so Jon Favreau, they were shooting Rudy. Favreau was there in Chicago at the time.
Vince Vaughn
came up in that period. There was a guy named Mitch Rouse who was in Rudy with him, and he was from Second City. But Favreau's a comedian. Favreau comes from the comedy world.
Yeah.
And so when he's doing these Star Wars things, like he's putting a lot of comedians in, right? And a lot of Second City people that were from our period, but they're wearing like the masks and the thing, but I can hear their voices like, oh my God, that's Dave Pasquazi. And I go, wait to the credits. Up there it is, Dave Pasquazi.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's Horatio Sands. Wait, up there's Horatio Sands, Amy Sedaris. So it's like, now wait to hopefully I don't know how many seasons that'll go, but I got to get my reel over there.
I
was there.
I think Bill Burr was in like an episode too, even.
He was in 2 or 3 actually. He was in the first. Was it the first one, Rocco? Bill Burr, the sharpshooter guy, and then the guy that talks like this, blah blah blah.
Boston,
big red guy.
Yeah. He's funny. I think he's one of the funniest comedians out there.
Oh,
I agree.
Hilarious.
A friend of mine got to open for him not that long ago, and I was like, "What? That's how did that even happen?" So that's
magic.
Yeah. But we'll let you go so you can get into his other practice.
Have a good practice,
and hopefully we'll see you at a con around our way. If not, we'll definitely keep in touch. And
next time we book a con, Tony, we gotta write it down on a piece of paper or something. What do you mean? I talked to you at your table. I said, it's the day after my birthday. You were like signing somebody's tits. Photo. Your eyes were crossed. You were looking right at me. I was doing this like, yeah, okay. He's like, you were looking right at me.
You're like, if I say yes, will you walk away?
I sent the text to Melissa. I said, what the hell did I get myself into? I just said, I'm doing this. I think it's a podcast. I'm not sure. But I love it. I'm glad it was a show. Yeah, I got to be on more. Is what it is.
You gotta.
Yeah, well, we appreciate it. Thank you very much, and we'll let you go, and then we'll wrap things up with these guys. So have a good one, man.
We'll see you later.
Have a good one.
All right, so now we get to wrap things up. So Angel,
that was awesome.
It was. He's great. I really want to meet him.
It was so laid back and
he was
chill.
Like I met him at. It's a good thing I met him at New Jersey Horror Con because if it was Monster Mania, it's just too. It's a cool con, but it's too cramped. Like there's so many people at this New Jersey Horror Con in Atlantic City.
Yeah,
it's in like a big showroom that he used to have. That it happens on the floor that they used to have all the
poker,
like the whatever, all the slot machines and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a huge floor that's wide open, and it's like it doesn't get that busy there for some reason. I guess because it's like tour.
Yeah.
So the only thing that stinks, Angel, is that it's in Atlantic City, which is a very long drive.
6 hours for me.
So it's one of those things where like you get like when we walked up to him, he remembered me, which was like crazy. But we were
Isn't
sitting
your
there for
birthday coming up? I think I should be on the show for your birthday.
But we sat there for like 25 minutes talking to him. He was mentioning, it's been like Saturday Night Live and stuff like that, Second City, and but it was like everyone, like every single person that you met. It wasn't like there was a line out the door for maybe you had like 2 or 3 other people, and they understood because then they would have got the same. They're like Felissa Rose was awesome. She was sitting there talking. Who else? Jennifer Blanco from like the Friday the 13th and stuff.
Yeah.
Like she was just sitting there like telling everyone her like life story, and it was just so funny, so awesome that it's just like that con I do like a lot. And he was saying they're having that classic retro throwback. I forget exactly what it is.
Con? Yeah,
Scott Baio con. They got a like Pete and Pete.
Called Classic or something.
Yeah, they got some people from.
If I go to that, I'm just going to yell, "Yo, Chachi!" Like every time I walk past the table.
And then you have who else is on that one? A couple people from Little Giants. So the Icebox and Spike from Little Giants, they're going to be there.
I'm old.
Well, that's like my movie from when I was younger. So
yeah,
it's your movie.
I was 10 years older than you at that time. So, anyways, it's getting late. Sergio was trying to kick us off.
Sergio, is it time to go?
He told us already. I think he might have already begun. I'm not sure, but if so, happy birthday, Sergio. If he's not,
yes,
gone.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. And so yeah, Angel, where can people follow you?
You can just follow me on Instagram at Chaos Madness or That Strange Show. We just put up a new episode.
He's still here. Happy birthday, Sergio.
Oh, he's still there?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so what was I saying? Happy birthday. Yeah, That Strange Show. Just put up a new episode, and then I think our 200th episode is coming up pretty soon. But our newest one, we talk about the Deep House. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
No,
it's a good one. Go watch it.
Nice.
But yeah, Tony,
what about you?
You can find me at Tony Has 9 Fingers on YouTube, where I'm doing movie reviews, unboxings, anything movie related. You'll find me on there. Tony Has 9 Fingers on Twitter. Tony Has 9 Fingers on TikTok, which I got banned for hateful behavior. Which is.
Did you like talk about a movie that has like a title that like was it like?
I think it's one of those things where like if you get someone who just is a troll, they can report it, and on TikTok it just bans you quickly. But I'm on TikTok, Tony Has 9 Fingers, Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me, and of course here on the Wicked Horror Show every Tuesday, whether it's a guest or just an open discussion.
I think we have some open discussion shows coming up, don't we?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And then we also have the Wicked Horror Show Instagram, where you can see if we have a guest or previous guest or anything like that. Kevin makes the thumbnails, and that's about it. Kevin.
Yeah. It's A-Knuckle on Instagram. And besides this show and doing the Wicked Horror reviews with the 13th Wolfman, I also am part of Black and White Fright and Violence Buffet.
Ooh.
Check out Violence Buffet over on YouTube. And Black and White Fright is available anywhere audio podcasts are sold or given away for free.
What's Violence Buffet about?
You already know what it's about. You already asked to come on, you son of a bitch. We already had our first guest cancel on us.
Hey,
it was Edwin. Edwin from Gravely Unusual.
Hey, shout out to Gravely Unusual.
Yeah, it's okay that he canceled. I understand. But okay. Shout out to him. Edwin's the man.
Want me to cancel? I canceled Tony off of TikTok.
No, don't do that. Thanks for listening and watching. It's a little bit longer of an episode, but it was worth it because Dave Sheridan's the man. We'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.